Hello everyone, myself Vinisha Bhagwani and my teammates Dakshin and Vinay Vora. We are here to present the idea of empowering the teachers in the multi-grade classrooms. Now, why to teach like in 1999 when AI can turn every village school to the future-ready IIT? Now, Google Classroom worked in, so our ecosystem could teleport. Now, what is the idea here basically? Today's edtech tool, just like Google Classroom, are helpful, right? But they are most passive. They digitalize education, but they do not intelligently adapt to the students or reduce the load on the teacher. We are done walking. Now we are teleporting. Now, I will explain you how things are working, what is our solution, what is our idea with the help of the architecture diagram. Without any further ado, let's get started. Now, as you can see here, we are having important thing that is two entities have been divided, the teacher workflow and the student workflow. Okay, now let us understand that how things are working. Initially, we would give a dashboard to a teacher where the important feature which emphasizes a schedule planner. Do you think we really need a schedule planner? Yes. The reason behind we need schedule planner is that initially if anyone is teacher, right? What is the main purpose of the teacher is to plan the things before starting. That leads to a proactive strategy. Here's the idea of the catch comes, which says that initially the teacher will upload the curriculum. After uploading the curriculum, it will ask number of hours, that is number of credits. Depending upon the number of hours, our scheduler planner will actually generate what? It will generate a plan for the teachers. Okay. Now this is something which will help a teacher to how to proceed with the plan. Okay. So here, first thing which we are reducing here is what? We are reducing important thing which is called as the time of the teacher here. Okay. Second thing, now once we are done with the plan, what do we require next? Teacher requires content. Yes or no? As a teacher, what do we mainly require? We require that teacher must be able to upload the content or teacher must be able to generate the content. Make sense? Yes. So here we are creating a content creation, which means what? We will give an UI in such a way where teacher can ask anything to generate. And here also we are implementing an hyperlocal LLM, which means that it is not only restricted to the English language. It is not restricted to only one language. It can be based on any regional languages the content teacher requires. Okay. Now, what if teacher is there is a possibility that teacher is already having the existing resources, yes, but teacher wants to upload the resources. So here comes thing which is called as vertex OCR. So what we are doing here is that we are actually making an option available to teacher that you can upload the things also. Okay. Now once the teacher has been a planner has been scheduled to teacher, once the teacher has been content has been created, the content has been generated. Now everything gets stored into a knowledge base. Now what is knowledge base? Knowledge base is something like what we humans do. If I get any knowledge, I store in my brain. That's what here architecture is doing. It is storing everything in our knowledge base. Do you think it is necessary? Yes. Just because this would give and personalized responses which is based on each and every entity. Okay. Now we will understand that what is happening the next. Now, teacher has planned everything, content has been generated. Next thing comes here is to take the exams. Don't you think it is too tedious for teacher to again and again and again and again make the papers and all? So how we are actually minimizing it? We are asking a teacher that we are taking a survey of the teacher. What are the like number of the worksheets? What has to be difficulty level? What the subjects you require? And depending upon that, number of worksheets have been generated. Now this worksheet generation. Now once this worksheet has been generated, an answer key is also provided to the teacher. Now the teacher can actually give that answer key after some time to the students. Yes or no? So here what we are trying to build here is that in the teacher workflow we are trying to achieve that key from the start we are making the plan in such a way that from starting to end we are helping the teacher. Okay. Make sense? Okay. Now moving further to one go. Now we are done with the teacher workflow. Now moving to the student workflow. What we are trying to achieve in the student workflow. Now student workflow is that whatever the help which has been actually see every time if I'm learning something, it is not possible for the teacher to be get available 24/7, right? So here we are providing a visual aid. Just like I'm human being, I understand pictures very well. So we are creating a pictures, or we can say concepts and flowcharts. So like there might be possibility that this feature has to be implemented in teacher too. Yes, we have made and common feature also, which can be implemented at the student as well as teacher workflow. Now we can do what, that student is actually able to attend what worksheet, yes or no. We are actually having a peer-to-peer learning where a discussion forum is being placed, students can discuss among themselves, yes, and we are having a doubt submission also, that student can ask the doubts to teacher and everything. audio Audio based feature is also being implemented here. Now what is a gamification approach? See, here is a catch, what we are doing different, what is our USP here is that, see, the competition is a basic key, right, to gain the success. So we decided that why not to conduct a weekly contest. Then here is a catch again, that again and again we are like making a burden to teacher, that teacher has to generate the questions for the weekly contest. No, what we are doing here is that we are keeping an AI in between. We are saying that AI would recommend to teacher, if and only if teacher agrees that to this particular contest is eligible, then only, then and if and only if then student can actually apply for the contest if teacher allows it. So we can say we are not actually burdening the teacher, or we are not making a burden to the teacher, or and also we are making gamification approach so that the student can maintain their streak, students can see their analytics, students can see their leaderboard, and they are motivated to do so. Okay, now what we are doing here is that here, now what is the problem with existing system, why we are using this, that is one fit solution. What is one fit solution? That is, for example, if I'm weak in maths, okay, so what will happen for me is that, ki, based on my worksheet analysis, what we are doing, we are using a reinforcement learning, which means what, we are actually suggesting that, ki, to the teacher that this particular person is not good in the maths. Instead, you can give a recommendation to it. Okay. Also, we are using for the scalability, we are using here one more thing which is called as Kafka and Redis. Now, what is basically used for this? Whenever the number of the users are being increased, right, number of the teachers are being increased, and we have to store the data at the different levels, so we are using a Kafka here. What is the need of the Kafka at exactly here is that, because every time a record has to be gone into the database, which takes a time consuming process, so we are using a horizontal scaling. When it comes to Redis, now what happens here is that if we have to implement a rural kind of model, right? So if there is a like some issues of the users, so the like previously questioned which has been done by the children or done by the students, it would be cached into their local storage itself, and they can ask whenever they want. Okay, and we can see here we are using here Gemini models and more for the models and all that would be explained by my partner Dakshin. Now we are going to move to the further part. Daksh, can you do ahead? Okay, so this is like brief about our idea, what we are trying to solve. We are evolving a classroom, okay, and we are like making a something which is like Sci-Hack, which learns from your books, notes, and styles, okay, and we are having a real world input ready, also gamified learning also, and also one more thing which we are actually implementing here is that we are also syncing it with offline, which means what here, if the worksheet analysis is done on the basis of like if teacher is taking offline test, so we can upload the worksheets and we can do so. Okay, now this process flow diagram would be explained by my partner Dakshin.
So yeah, as Vinisha explained to you about our architecture. So let me take you in more depth about the tech stack and how our process is working. So for our agents, so for like schedule planning and worksheet generation and content generation, we will require agentic AI to do so perfectly. So why we choose to build in classrooms? First thing was, of course, as Vinisha told you about simple plug and play and previous UI, so it is easier for teachers to like get used to it. But the second thing is we use divide and conquer strategy. If it is very tedious to train some agents into multiple languages, multiple subjects, and so on, it will get very much burden to the agents and it won't do what it is best meant to be done. So how we are different from it is that we divide the strategy into small tasks, and we use specialized agents for those tasks. So how will this happen? So let's assume we have one classroom for any subject, let's say biology or science or maths. So what will happen is, as teacher uploads the curriculum or the books, NCRT books, example, etc., for rural areas. Okay. So first thing is, our knowledge graph is self-healing and self-building. So every time it is getting updated. So based on that, our agents like content generator agent, worksheet generator agent, doubt solving, feedback planner, they all get used to it. Like they all get trained on it, and their like reinforcement learning takes place. So they are growing every day, every prompt. And now moving on, what will happen is, as they keep on getting better and better, it will perform better and so on, so that it gets easier for teachers to generate more quality content, and it will understand how the students' minds are working and what they understand in the best way possible. So now, how is our knowledge base building? So firstly, for our knowledge base, we will leverage knowledge graph models like from Neo4j or LangGraph. So why this? Because it is open source technology promoted by Google, and what it does best is, it enables us to like easily upload new content, new data into it easily. And what we will do is, we will give it a web search tool and other some tools. So what will happen is, if let's say teachers have uploaded so much content, like we have a knowledge graph for various subjects. So if any student wants to learn, so that our doubt solver will just have to come to this knowledge base, and based on it, reply to the students in the best, easiest way possible according to their curriculum and their portion. So it will be much easier for them. And let's say when they have given worksheets, they have given tests, so we get feedback, right? So that feedback will automatically be passed on to the teachers and as well as to these agents, because these agents are made for you to get better marks, right? So these agents will understand that how was your performance and accordingly change to you. If you are weaker in maths, so where did you lack? Did you lack in geometry or algebra? So it will suggest you more about algebra. It will help you more in doubt solving and explanation of where. And it will give you more visual aids related to it. It will try to explain you more better. Now, here also comes the point of rural content. As Vinisha said about hyperlocal content. So how our AI will be able to do it better? So that where our divide and conquer strategy helps us. If our subject is Marathi, so it will have Marathi access to Marathi books, Marathi curriculum, and Marathi tools through websites. Okay, Marathi videos. So according to it will automatically adjust to Marathi and rural areas related to Maharashtra, and accordingly generate content based on that rural area, so that students in Maharashtra are more easier, and even not students in Maharashtra, those who are learning Marathi, will be able to learn Marathi in better way and connect to it to more regional way possible. Okay. And all this is self-healing, and now you will think the question that will come to your mind is about optimization. Like so much data will be coming here, so much reinforcement learning will take place. How are agents gonna work? So here, what we use is agent-to-agent protocol built by Google. So this protocol helps us to communicate easily between agents. Like why not make doubt solver ask the content generator for more content, so that students are able to like solve their doubts easily if some content is lacking. 3 to 1 bol.
3 to 1.
So here, what comes into picture about optimization is, we will leverage Kafka, we will leverage Hadoop, we will leverage like Hugging Face and TensorFlow, and also Redis and Kafka for more better optimization, so that our data is handled properly. And we will leverage Firestore and PubSub architecture for Firestore to make the best out of our solution. And because it is separate for each classrooms, there will be no problems in intra-communication and more problems and stuff. So yeah, this is our flow, and let's give it our mockups for our UI that we have thought of. So as you can see, this is a dashboard where teachers can easily check about their classrooms, how their students' are performances, and what to see for if they want to communicate with the parents or communicate directly with the students also. And as Vinisha spoke about like peer-to-peer learning, like they can also ask for reflection about how the lectures went. Teachers can ask and get to update that way of teaching. So yeah, so these are everything that contains about our architecture and our technical flow and what our USPs are. So let's end this, Divisha.
So that's it for today, and thank you for listening us to patiently. And we hope that we make out the best from this hackathon, and we are some like emerging winners for this. Thank you.
Thank you.